Well, good morning, everybody. It's me again there. Got my second cup of Timmy's coffee ready to go there, so everything is good. So just wanted to show everybody this is kind of something new for me, and that's doing the rubber sort of en masse here. I'm fortunate I have the room. I know for most of you it'd be really difficult to even get close to this many on a table. But I thought, what the heck, instead of stretching this out for the whole winter, I can do this in a month or so with the other sets of models I got. So these ones I started with are pretty basic ones. These are mostly all glove molds, or short little seams or one seamers. So I can sort of bang them off in a hurry there. I think this table's about coat 6 I have, and this table is between 3 and 5. I thought maybe I'd just share with you some little hints or tricks, and I just want to make a point saying, you know, I'm no expert in the field by any means, but I just want to share sort of things that I've done, little things that have come in handy, little problems that I come across, and solutions for them. But by all means, I mean, if you've got another way or you think you have a better way, just roll with it. I'm not saying I'm the know-it-all here from doing rubber. There's a lot of people that know a lot more than I do. So anyway, I'd just like to share. So some pieces here, like for pagoda pieces, and I guess what I'd like to say is, like, your first couple of coats are always your most important. So take your time, and after you've put a coat, one coat on, I'll go on to another model. And about 3 minutes later, I'll come back, and it's really important in your first couple coats is to come back and then just brush out all the little air bubbles that you get on it. If you don't get rid of the bubbles, you get a really coarse feeling model at the end, and it feels like rough, like you have to take sandpaper to it. After that, after you've done what I found, like this one here, so this is sort of like number 5 or 6 coats on here. You could brush it on. I wait about 3 minutes, no longer than that, or else you'll start pulling latex off. Is come back, and then you just dab it. Just go around and dab, and that gets rid of all the big bubbles. There'll be some micro bubbles in there you don't have to worry about too much. But you can see here I've started adding in microfibers to get the undercuts. And this is the stuff that we've talked about before. And literally, it is the stuff that comes out of pillows. This is my supply box. So before I'd start, I look at the model, and then I'll pre-rip off a bunch of little pieces, set it out in front of the model, and then in a separate cup, like that little styrofoam cup there, I'll just drop it in, a little bit of dab of latex, and then you'll just come in and you'll just like sneak it down in the little spots down here. These are all spots that are these are called undercuts, and these are if you do a fiberglass backing for it. These are areas that are going to get hung up on the fiberglass, and there's nothing worse than doing a really nice model and you've got a great mold, but then it gets hung up in the fiberglass and you either lose your model or worse, you have to destroy your rubber as well. So you want to avoid that at all costs. So there's a few of them here that don't need it. Sometimes I overdo it a little bit, and I'm my own worst enemy. I'll maybe do something that's not particularly necessary, but I like to err on the side of caution. So here's a bunch of little guys. These little guys over here, they won't be getting any backers at all. These are just going to be the little molds I'll make, like what Guns is showing in his video, the little holders to hold them upside down. A couple simple one-seamers over here. And I'll just show you guys here that not everything goes well. This is a great score that I got a few months ago. This is like a 1950s. Got this from an antique store. 1952 or something, they said. Carving. I looked at it, washed it, cleaned it off really good. And for whatever reason, I determined I didn't need to put shellac on it. But you can see what's happened here is the finish on here is bleeding through. I've had it before over the years. It's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to affect the final product, but it makes a messier of your latex because it starts browning up, and you have to make sure if you're brushing off your brush that you're not contaminating your whole container full of latex with it. But you see, the problems do arise from time to time. Other things that I just like to say is I like to start in the morning. I like to go around with the shop vac and just clean up around on the table, on both tables, because you get little pieces of rubber on your hands as you're doing it and you flake them off. And there's nothing worse than you're doing your piece and you get little droplets of gunk all over. So I just like to keep the tables clean. Another thing I found with doing this many models at a time is to work with 2 or 3 sets of brushes, because after half an hour your brush starts to set up like deep inside. So you have to put it in some water and ammonia and detergent and let it soak and go on to another brush and keep working that way, because it did cause me a little bit of grief the first couple of coats there until I figured out to break out some more brushes too. So I'm not a big brush saver. If the thing looks, I mean, I get them for under 50 cents a piece, so I mean, to me it's not a big deal. Like for like one of these things, like if it's done, it's done, and it goes into the garbage and I move along. So just to show you, there's some other models on the other tables over there getting ready to go. I've got some stuff here, parts of a pagoda. This is a really cool old wall sconce I got from an antique store as well. Some people so I know some people come in and they do a clay ridge along here. I do it with silicone. I'll flip him over and I'll put a bead of silicone under here, flip it over, and then just go with my finger and clean it up. It makes for a nice, really nice finish. Let it set up overnight and then work on it the next day. Here's some crazy stuff. This is a real starfish from Chinatown in Vancouver. I got to do a little bit of work, some clay work here. It doesn't quite touch the table, so I got to do a little bit of work here to get this guy some other kind of crazy stuff, some old antique ceiling tiles, and I've got a terracotta warrior over there, an actual real terracotta warrior to work on. So anyway, that's what's on the go, and I'll try and make another vid in a couple of days here and share some more ideas with you. Super, thanks everybody, bye-bye.